good afternoon, or morning, depending on when you are tuning in. I want to start off by saying thank you for joining in, and if you have not already, go give our previous podcast a listen. I am Daniel Massey, soon to be sophomore in the Michigan men's soccer team. Today on Wolverines for Justice, our guest speaker is my mother. She will be discussing who she is, what she does and has done, what a struggle a position of power is for women all over the world, and how she believes things need to change within our society. Without further ado, I will turn it over.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here with you today. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Tracey Massey. I'm the global president of the Mars Pet Food Company. It's a $10 billion business. We operate in hundreds of countries around the world. There's 16,000 people and over 40 factories. It's a big job, but I love it. One of the reasons I'm here to talk to you today is about some of the things that need to change. And for sure, some of the things that need to change is more women need to be in business. It needs to be much easier for people to get jobs, whether you're female, whether you're a different colour, whether you're a different passport. The nice thing about doing a job which touches every country across the world is you get to meet people from everywhere. So whether you're Russian, you're Indian, you're Chinese, or you're American, we get to work with everyone. And there's nothing that equals everybody as much as having a pet. And that's what I do. I look after pets and pet parents. And I really love it. So anyway, how did I get here? It's been 30 years. I actually started off as a chemical engineer. I moved into manufacturing. I did run a factory at one point. It was always my dream job 15 years ago was to run a factory. And I did it. And so now I'm on to doing other things. But most of my career has been finance and manufacturing and moving around the world. My children had to move across the world to the US. They were born in the UK. You can probably tell that from my accent. They don't have one like me, but I have moved them around a lot, California, South Carolina, New Jersey, and I think that helps people grow. The more new experiences you get, that's how you get better at work. Just get my advice to you guys is get as many different experiences as you can, and you'll learn from them, and then you'll be better for the next job that you do. So I've done many different things. One of the things I know you guys wanted to hear about is what's difficult about being for a woman being in power. Well, for sure, it's hard to get here. That's the hardest thing. There aren't anywhere near enough women in STEM careers. So my love would be that more girls went into science and engineering and math, but it's tough. When I did engineering at college, there were 70 people in my class and 3 women. And you're outnumbered all the time, but you just have to get on with it and get used to it. And I think one of the things that helped me, which is one of the things that needs to change, is my mum and my family never treated me any differently to my brothers. And so I grew up thinking everybody was treated the same. And then all of a sudden you walk into work or you walk into school and you realize that people don't treat you the same. And that's the biggest thing that needs to change. There is nothing that stops anyone from being anything they want to be. But unfortunately, we are surrounded by some people who don't believe that. One of the biggest things that actually has already changed and I think needs to continue to change is some of the movies and the TV we watch. So when I was growing up, most of the cartoons and the movies and all the hero figures were guys. And just recently, you've seen a big change as the movie industry has tried to play its part in changing the world, because there is this thing called unconscious bias. Many of us just grow up not even knowing that we have a bias, and believe me, you all have them. You can go online and take tests. I would encourage you to do that, because you may think you're not, but you will have biases, because we all have them, and it comes from the way we grew up. It comes from the TV we watch. One of the biggest things that changed a number of years ago now was when the Hunger Games movies came out. Very few girls did archery. And now after that movie, the sign-ups for girls in archery went through the roof. Because what people believe is you have to be able to see it to be it. So the only way things change is if young women see women in power. When they look up and they say, oh, that woman runs that company, they realize, oh, maybe I could. And there's just not enough of us there. So what everybody can do is encourage and just give people more confidence. There's a general rule of thumb that if a guy goes for a job and there's 10 requirements on the interview, on the job spec, most guys think they can do that job and they've only got to meet 2 of the requirements. Women tend to think they need all 10 because they just think differently and they don't have as much confidence on the whole. Not everybody's the same, but on the whole. So the biggest thing I would say to everybody is if you have women in your life, encourage them. Encourage them that they can be whatever they want to be. Give them confidence and get them to take more risks than they would normally take. Men take risks, women don't take as many risks. So the biggest thing that needs to change is there needs to be more of us in the workforce. But the hardest thing when you're in these jobs is that on the whole, people will say, if a woman's strong, you get called bossy, and all sorts of names. Whereas guys strong, they say, oh, wasn't he a strong guy? So I think there's just a different perception around for different people. And the more we can all change those perceptions, whether it's your sister, your mum, your girlfriend, your friend, just encourage them that they can be whatever they want to be. And that goes for all the types of social injustice. But everybody can do their piece every minute of every day. Just keep giving people a chance. Yeah, there was one job I had which really sticks in my mind. We moved down to South Carolina. I was running a factory making pet food. And South Carolina was very racist and very sexist. And I think one of the reasons I was actually given that job is because of the people leadership skills that I had shown over the years. But I can remember vividly, most of my team were men. My engineering manager, my maintenance managers, most of them were men. And they used to take bets. So they would have suppliers in the room and they would say, hey, do you want to meet the plant manager? And I would walk through the door and the suppliers would be like looking over my shoulder thinking I was the admin assistant and waiting to see the plant manager. And they would take bets on which suppliers would either just not even know what to say, which ones would just sort of be okay and realise that it was me as the plant manager. And they would say, hey, here's Tracey, she's our plant manager. But that's just, again, an unconscious bias. People are just not expecting a woman to run a factory. And they're not that hard to run, and there needs to be more of us out there. So all you girls out there doing engineering, go run factories. It's a real fun job.
Thank you, Mom, for speaking today. And thank you all for tuning in to another episode on Wolverines for Justice. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from such an inspiration to young women around the globe. I want to remind you all to subscribe, give us a like, and spread the word. I am Daniel Massey, and thank you.